Hey, what's up, guys? This is TBone here. Welcome back to our Tuesday stream. And here we are in the beginning of a new season, Obsidian Ankh season. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about this upcoming event, which is a water commander event with the theme of Wizard of Oz. All right. And so let me know also if you guys can hear me okay. I switched mics. If you can notice, I actually switched mics and just wanted to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. All right. So Martin, so you're saying that the deck is not good, and it sounds like the season reward is not good. So that's definitely something I noticed as well in terms of the rewards. So if you take a look at the seasonal rewards here, it actually is it's pretty weak. I have to admit, right? So if you take a look at what we expect to earn this particular season, we've got Crown Shards, we have a support card, Prismatic Crystallius, and then we have two Manangaal the Wicked, which is again two support cards. Now these are sort of Gen 3 cards now, so we're starting to earn Gen 3 cards, but these are all support cards. And then we got Almar, which is alright, but then now we've got Shards, Almar Side, Enchanted Runes, and one Dark Enchanted Maul, and then one Cudgel Core at 13,000. So I can understand why people might not be too happy about this. So it's definitely weaker than the rest. That's how I feel about it as well. So let's see. My chat box is not showing for some strange reason. Oh, that's too bad. For some reason, my chat box isn't showing. So that's okay. I guess I just won't see it today. But usually, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I could have this so that it can be viewable as well. So give me 1 second, please. Apologies, because I also want to kickstart the giveaway pretty soon, and so I just wanted to see here. So everything should be all good, right? Maybe I just needed to start the entry here, and if you type in exclamation mark raffle, then you'll see the ability to enter in there. Again, as a quick reminder, the way that you enter, the way that you win is just by participating, and then at the end I will draw. I will do a drawing, and then if you are a subscriber, then you'll get additional tickets as well. All right, and so let's take a look at the cards here, because I think a lot of people have already sort of mentioned that, hey, it doesn't seem like it's a great team right now. And it looks like, so Streamlabs is getting the raffles, but it's not pulling in all of the chat. So anyways, we'll have to see what's going on there. But anyways, let's take a look now at the cards themselves and see whether or not it really is actually worth investing in. Okay. And so the cards here, we'll start with the ultimate form as usual. And so the card here is Fabled Sojourners. This is a Wizard of Oz themed team, and it's Dorothy, and also, well, they don't call it Tin Man, but it's the ultra rare form of Tin Man. Okay, and so during this time, while you guys are going, I will just kind of talk about the cards here. Yeah, so this is weird. So it's not picking up any of the chatter from the viewers. It's just showing the Streamlabs chat. So that's really strange. Apologize for how it's gonna seem in the stream afterwards. But anyways, let's take a look at this Fabled Sojourners. So now we are at this is Beast Killer, all right? And it is the first time that we're seeing the Water Beast Killers since the New Dawn season started. So that means we don't have any other killer bonus skills that have 900% at 1 star. That's really what it means. And so this is the first of its kind. In terms of the battle skill, so this team creates 3 water power gen 3s, and then for every 200 beast killer intensity creates an additional one. So the one thing that I'm really curious about is why they decided to go back to this 200 intensity per additional power gem business, just because I personally dislike it a lot. I think that it just makes it really, really slow, right? It takes forever to build up, and you can't expect to have multiple cards of like the ultimate form, ultra rare or master collection cards to help you here. And so I think 100 was a good balance. 200 is just way too much. So, um, anyways, the battle skill here: 3 power gem 3s and one per 200 killer intensity, and then it basically allows you to then create the same number of power gems on the second turn. So very similar to the previous Haunted Hunters light commander deck, except it only does it for 2 turns total instead of 3 turns. It has a 5 turn cooldown, and it doesn't seem that great given that it has a 5 turn cooldown. It's a slow deck and it has a long cooldown. And it does have a passive so that whenever you attack, you increase the total damage by 50% the next turn and you decrease the amount by 10%. So you'll take less damage and you deal 50% damage boost. So there's the damage boost here. So that's good because you don't need the battle skills here. So you just need to basically constantly attack. The problem here is in between the battle skills, if you can't get if you can't get the power gems to go, then you're not going to be dealing that much damage anyway. So really, this only can be most beneficial when you can actually get your power gems going. And so to me, 5 turns is not it's not very good. It's kind of slow. I kind of wish that they would kind of move away from the 5 turn cooldown, sort of given the meta nowadays. And then we got the total support, which is a new thing again. So at the beginning of every turn, it'll charge the battle skills of all beast killer heroes by 25%. And so what this means is if you take a look at the charge rate, here the charge rate is 8 gems. So 25% of is 2. So basically it's equivalent to if you had matched 2 water gems, okay, at the beginning of every turn. And I think this will stack. So if you get 4 of the cards that do the same thing, then your battle meter is going to be filled up. But here's the problem. I don't think that it also resets the cooldown. So what will happen is every single turn you're going to get your battle skill meter filled up, but then it won't light up until 5 turns later. And so all this allows you to do is this allows you to not ever match your water gem, and you'll be able to get a full battle skill meter. And this is also interesting because I don't know if in the ages for the Corellian bosses where it's like a Terror Ages. I think this will kill it too. So I don't think this will override the fact that you're going to lose all of your battle skills every single turn. I mean, if it does, then that would change the gameplay for Corellian bosses. But to me, this currently I don't really see a benefit, if you will. I don't see a benefit of this particular ultimate that passive skill. Okay. So see, you are and the supporter have 1 turn cooldown, which is nice. Yeah. So from the ultimate form's perspective, it doesn't have a very good cooldown. The ultimate form, the ultra rare has 1, which would be good. And so let's see, Valanhara, you went ahead and got the Vulcan Slayer to go gorilla in the Earth event. To do gorilla in Earth event, the Vulcan Slayer. Yeah. So that's a good card to use. Okay, so let's take a look at the Lady Dorothy. So personally, I really enjoy the art. When they first showcased the art, I thought that it was actually really well done. I think that if they change artists, if they use different artists, I think they should keep this one because I think the artwork is actually well done here. So I wanted to give credit to that. So here's the Master Collection card. The Master Collection card is the one that, again, has a 5-turn cooldown and creates the same number of power gems on the board. So basically it has it counts the number of power gems. Oh, wait a second. Here's the battle skill for Master Collection card. It counts the number of water gems on the board. At the start of the next turn, she clicks her heels and spawns that many power gems. Hold on a second. So the Master Collection card doesn't spawn any power gems on her own at the turn that you actually use the battle skill. So if I'm reading this correctly, the battle skill will take whatever number of power gems you have on the board right now, and then you can then spawn that many on the following turn. So this allows you to stagger your Master Collection card every single turn if you have multiple, for example. So if you have a card that is able to fill up the board, then you activate it, then the next turn you'll have that many power gems, and then you activate another one the next turn, you'll keep having the same number of power gems, but it's power gem 2s. Okay, so if you use it right, if you have a good power gem spawner, this is not a bad card to use. It's just that I think for a lot of people this is going to be very confusing. Okay, and so you're not going to be able to use the card at the same turn, whereas the ultimate form will actually spawn the power gem this turn that you use it. And so you're gonna have to really think about how they work. It's I don't know that it's terrible. I think that it's very situational, and I think it depends on the team. Because what this allows you to do is this allows you to, again, with a overpowered deck where you have multiple copies of the Master Collection card, then you'll be able to get, basically a full, assuming you can get full power gem, then you'll be able to get a full board every single turn, assuming that you have multiple copies. But there are other cards that already do this, and so that doesn't seem to be quite as useful. And then we have total support here in the Master Collection card as well, which gives you 25% of the killer skill refill, which to me, again, is not quite as useful. And so, no, Aliyah, you feel like the Master Collection card is really useless this time. And we got Judge of All talk about useless. So a lot of people feel like this is not a very good battle skill. So I guess it remains to be seen. And you got to find another deck to use. Yeah, so if you wanted to use another, so if you want to use a Water Beast Slayer deck, Commander deck, I can show you what option you can have afterwards. Now, Armor Automaton is the ultra rare version of the Tin Man. Okay, and this is the battle skill that will create multiple power gems. It starts with 3, and then it adds 1 for every 200 beast killer intensity. So to me, we've sort of gone backwards in terms of the battle skill abilities. Like, we used to get at least like 4 or 5 of these power gems, and then we can get 1 per 200. I can understand if we started with like 5 or 6 power gems, and then you add 1 for every 200 intensity. I don't get why they made this so weak, where it only creates 3 and then it gets 1 for every 200 intensity. Like I said, it just makes the deck like really slow down. It is nice that it's 1 turn. It is really nice that it has 1 turn cooldown, but it's just that I wish that it was a little bit better. And this is where having the see, here's the thing, right? If it has like a 1 turn cooldown, it has a pretty low charge rate of 8 gems. And if you use Toto's passive skill, it will increase the battle skill by 25% for every Master Collection card and Ultimate Form you have. Like, you're never going to not match the water gems. So I don't really see the benefit of that skill. I don't know. So I would just rather not think about it. Now, the Ultra Rare card is the one that gives you the total damage dealt by 50%. So the Ultimate Form and the Ultra Rare card combined. This will stack, so you're going to get 50% damage and 50% damage again. Now, I don't remember whether it's if you multiply. So like if you do 2 cards, whether it's 100% damage total or if it's 2.5%, 2.5 times damage. I think because it's damage boost, I think it's actually multiplied. So the more you have, the more damage you should expect. So we should expect to see with more ultra rare cards, the more damage output you should have. So we'll see. And it doesn't have any other passives besides that. Okay. So for Temperist, so the raffle is for a chance to win either a shirt or anything else that is available on my site. So I have a merch store, and you can get something for free. Okay. So see if my luck is better. I kind of give up on that already, so I don't really know if I'm going to get anything this time, and I can only afford to go up to tier 3 anyway. And I will give my thoughts on what I think about the game's sort of current situation in a minute. So Tin Man is the support card. It's not a terrible card because this one has 1 turn cooldown. It gives you 1 power gem and three water gems. So it's not that bad compared to some of the other options we had. Now there's a drawback, right? So what we're used to seeing is support cards that give you 8 regular gems. This one reduces by half, but it gives you 1 power gem 1. I kind of feel that uh, that's a little bit too much of a trade-off. I don't know that a single Power Gem 1 is worth 4 Water Gems because it reduces your ability to fill up the board. And so I actually think that this is not quite as good of a trade-off as would have liked. I would have liked to see maybe 2 Power Gem 1s and 3 Water Gems, or 1 Power Gem 2 and 4 Water Gems. I think would have been nice. Like five gems would have been a nicer trade-off there. And it heals for 4,000 every time you have. So like the support card really kind of gives you the ability to heal now, and so that's the sort of the meta I'm seeing. And I think this is also the one that has Power Gem Silence Dispel. So this is the only card that dispels Power Gem Silence. So this is the one card that you have to make sure that you use if you have a problem with that. Now this is the Scarecrow, Steadfast Scarecrow. I thought that this art was also kind of interesting, so I kind of like that. And this card is very similar to the Magic Collection card, so that it will create 5 Power Gem 2s. And then this one has the ability to increase based on intensity. Again, 1 for every 200. Again, kind of slow for me. And this one also also charges the battle skill, but half of what the Magic Collection card does, only 12.5%. So in the 8 gem, for 8 gem charge rate, it basically is equivalent of charging for 1. So the thing is, it counts towards all beast killers, so it technically works against any other deck. Like, you can put in the rainbow deck, for example, and it will charge theirs as well. So you don't have to, like, you don't have to, for example, match, earth gems to get the earth, battle skill going. In a situation in a meta where off affinity decks actually work, I think this will be useful. But currently, it doesn't work. Like, there's no way ever for you to use an off affinity deck as an attack deck in today's meta, and so I don't think that's actually very useful. So I'm trying to find reasons why this is good, that passive is good, but I just don't see it. All right, so spent quite a bit of time talking about the cards itself. I'm gonna go to tier 3. This is what I can afford, and we'll see. Since I'm only going 3 tiers, I don't really have high hopes, but I am expecting to get at least 1 relic here. I don't have any seasonal coins, right? So the goal here really is just keep myself about 1,000 gems, so that I could get the next one tomorrow in the Revival Vault. And we're off to a great start here with, I think, 5 keys as my card. And I think we've talked about this. Things that should not be in the Vault reward are keys and evolution tokens. Those are probably the worst things you can get in a Vault, and it remains the worst things in the Vault, and it continues to be the thing that I pull the most. So let's take a look at the remaining two tiers here. Again, not holding high hopes here. So I'm hoping for at least one relic, because that's in tier 3, and I'll get a support card this event. Now, I also don't have any good water beast killer cards, so we'll talk about some of the options there. And then we'll also take a look and see if there's any other changes in this event, because you kind of have to pay attention to how they're changing things, so that we can keep up with the changes. All right, so here's our guaranteed support card. And we'll get at least 1 gold card, right? We will at least get our relic here. So we'll go to 3 tiers. Countess J, thank you. Let's see. So yeah, thanks everybody for the good wishes, but I know better. I know better than to expect it. All right, so we got the Constant Claymore, which is the relic here, and we got Goddess of the Surf, and we got the Mummy. So we got 2 ultra rare cards from the previous Gen 2 events, right? And I think I got another support card. Oh no, I actually got the event card. So that's good. So at least I have the event card. I got this Scarecrow. That's at least a silver card. And I got my guaranteed relic. So hey, there's that. So without a deck, and this has been sort of the consistent story for me right now. Without a deck, I have a couple of options. And I think that last time what I ended up doing was I was stuck in the platinum, right? I was stuck in the platinum bosses until I got my deck, and then I was able to get to because I was never stuck because I bought the team last time in Commander, right? I used my coins to get it, so I tried to see what it was like in platinum, and then this time around without a deck, I'm going to try my best and see if I can gain platinum or gold. Okay, those are going to be my goals, and we'll take a look at the cards, see what options we have here. And so let's take a look at the news feed and see what's there. And so there's really no changes, nothing that talks about the actual event. It just talks about the Obsidian Ankh season. No updates on the event itself. All right, so now let's take a look at what to expect for you in terms of the deck itself. Okay, and so if I were to build a deck, it's really unfortunate that I have just really sucky cards. Right? And here are my Water Beast cards. I mean, I have a Slayer deck. Not sure that it's going to be as useful here. Like, I have the Party Posse of Power, but I'm not sure that it's a good idea to bring this card in because it only boosts Slayer cards. And so the best you could do is probably boost your Keta if you want to use it, but it's not a great idea to be using a Slayer card that boosts 400% in Commander events nowadays, especially since it only boosts Slayer decks. Okay, so like I said, it's not the deck that will boost all all Beast Killer types, and so you're not going to be able to really gain anything out of it. And it's not really that great of a gem spawner either. But I do have the Metharn Project, and I have these cards. So these are all I have to work with, and so there's not a whole lot I can do. Okay, and so in terms of good decks to use then for water, if you have the Santa deck, like if you have the Water Noble deck, one thing you could do is you could go with Noble and basically use the intensity increase to help you nuke down, kind of like similar idea as using the card for, I guess, similar idea to Circuit Break Hilaria, where you don't use a beast killer deck, but then you use another deck like Noble, and then you basically would increase your damage that way. Some of the option I have Wave Warriors, but it's not going to give me the overkill. It's not going to give me the overkill, but I think it will at least give me the amount of damage I have. I mean, like, I had this deck and I was waiting for the ultra rare card, the Enchanting Empress, for a long time. Finally, I got that. So I was able to craft my ultimate form. So like, here's one option. If you had this deck, I think it could still be viable, and then you might want to replace one of the cards with a support card so you can at least get some additional damage there, because this is basically going to just be like very basic damage output. Like, I'm not going to get anything. I might actually need to replace this with a card. I might actually replace that with the Steadfast Scarecrow, right? Like, this might not actually be a terrible idea to use, because at least this card has 4 times damage output against beast killers, and it also gives you some power gems based on beast killer intensity, right? Aside from that, what other options you have? I mean, like, I have I have the Titanic Terrace. This is actually going to be the card that's going to be in the Drill Fist Depot. This is the dragon deck. There are cards that boost dragon intensity and then also like boost dragon attack. So that's another option if you want to go with, like, there's some creative thoughts, right? It's like, if you wanted to go with dragon, here are cards that boost dragon types. Not that I'm sure it's actually going to work, but it's something I'm going to try out, right? I could try out because I don't really have any other options. So there is these volcanic cool drag that actually boost dragon attack. So that's one option, although I don't think that's a very good option there. Really, I think I would just be using that for the attack. Basically, I guess here I'm at the point where if I don't get the deck, I am pretty much out of luck. And so it is going to be a challenge for me to stay in my league. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a difficult challenge, because I think last time I didn't have a deck, I basically went down to Kings from Commander, and so I'm not sure quite what to do right now. I just think that there is not going to be enough damage output, so I'm going to have to stick with the lower tiered bosses. And because I'm going to be sticking with the lower tier bosses, I'm not going to be able to participate in the guild boss either. And so I think that this is really a situation where Commander has gone to the point where it's not really fun if you don't have the deck. And like I understand that last time when I talked about it, it was that hey, you have like 8 tiers of bosses to choose from, and you can kind of just stick what you are. And I totally understand that, and I completely understand it from the point of view of people who don't really, who just started, for example, who are just building up their teams. I could understand that, but for someone like me who've been around for 3+ years, I've built up quite an arsenal of cards. For that to be completely useless, I think is it, it's a situation that I can understand why a lot of people have very strong feelings about how things are going. Okay. And so I will give that feedback as well, but I have a strong suspicion that it's going to be a bad bad event for me. So we got Doug Carafini and let's see, Andy Kessler. Yes, it is a new season, so welcome, Doug. And let's see, Shaskor, why your wife is watching. Your wife Tammy watching you, say hi for her that I love her. Okay, so Tammy Shaskor says I love you. Okay, so can a Beast Breaker, Beast Breaker? So if you get the Beast Breaker deck, I think that is not the right killer skill. Oh no, it is. It is. So Beast Breaker is, let's see, is the one that I'm missing. The ultimate form for, right? So it will work if you don't have enough of the support cards and event cards of this season, of this particular event. And so yes, I definitely would say if you already have, I guess that's the other thing I could do, right? This is also Beast Killer. So like, I mean, I could do something like this. Like another option is I could actually go with this, and let's change. So that's interesting because I didn't think I showed. So I only showed Mytharn Project, but what it should have shown is my. It should have shown my Daihomaru, right? So here's another option that gives me a lot of power gems. I mean, like, it's not the only cards I have that can give me power gems. Really, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to need to use my event card and support card as the cards that give me the damage. And I need to find ways to fill up the board consistently. The deck using Mytharn Project and Daihomaru, if you have the ultimate form, go for it because you at least will get some cards, some decent damage out of that. Whereas I think that with this card, this at least creates 4 power gems, and I can actually get more stacks of power up, and so that will at least help there. And this will gives me an additional 200%. So the ultra rare card, this I probably will be using as well. Some of the other options that I'm looking at, right? So like cards that give you really good power gem spawns, there's not a whole lot anymore. To be honest with you, there's not a ton. Like, I mean, like if you have this deck, the cannon. So I have this ultra rare card, the Cannon Blast Barbarossa. It doesn't do anything on its own. So like, if you can actually collect this card from the collections, but this card is so useless that you can't actually do anything in any of the other decks. Like this was one of those decks I just didn't feel like was a great option, just because like the reset only works within its own event, and so I'm not a big fan of that. Oh my gosh, like what else do I have? I have the Titanic Terrors, and this one is the one that has the overgrowth mechanic. Not a big fan of that, so I probably won't use that. And so there's really not a ton of options, right? Some of the things that you could do is if you have Procambrius with a good deck, one of the things that you could also do is Procambrius also gives a it increases the damage taken by your boss, and it does that by 20% each time, and it also stacks, so you can actually get this stack to so that the enemy damage taken is 20%, and you get the passive ability of the event deck that gives you 50% damage boost. these two can actually work really, really well together. So if you need the extra boost in attack damage, but you don't have a lot of the Master Collection cards, for example, I would say probably throw this card in there, even if you have the full, deck. Instead of putting in like the support card, for example, put in Procambria so that you can get the additional damage output. This would actually make a difference. So this is actually a card that can make a difference here. And so if we take a look at the Proving Ground store now, you can actually get the Beast Breaker cards. So let's take a look here. So it is the start of a new season. And so that means that we can actually look at also the store here. So if you take a look at the store, so Titanic Terrace there. So this is also, by the way, this is also the very last season for you to be able to get your hands on the hard won gorillas or the freedom fighters. Okay, after this season, these cards are going to go. And so if you have one of the two cards remaining, I would highly recommend getting those, because looking ahead at, if we take a look ahead at, the cards are available for you. So like I could actually get the Sea Swelling Titan to get myself the Beast Breakers. That's one option. I might actually just get myself the card that I'm missing, because I'm actually missing another Voltreon to get myself a 3 pink star Hardware Gorilla. I might actually choose to do that just because then I'll get the 800% output from that single card, which will give me a nice damage output. So let's see. Con William D. Are they keeping it for 2 weeks? So let's see. Oh no, you're right. Freedom Fighters is gonna go away after this current season. Hard One Gorillas will go the season after that. For some reason, I thought that they're in the same season. So yes, you're right. Freedom Fighters will go away after this season. So you still have 2 more seasons total to get yourself Hard One Gorilla. Looking ahead, I would say the only one that I would say, hey, you might want to consider getting would be Maya Diosa and a Persona Power. Out of the entire season here, if you're not getting anything else, I would say this is the only one that I would recommend. But would I recommend using your seasonal coins this event to get yourself the Beast Breakers? I probably personally won't. Okay. And so it looks like the raffle has completed. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick a winner right now before I forget. And so let's go ahead. And we got quite a few entries. We got 57 entries here. So good luck to the winner. I'm going to go ahead and select the winner right now. And now I believe, Arjun, I believe you've already won a shirt. If I remember correctly. And so Arjun, if you're in the chat, reply. If you can reply here, for some reason I thought that I had picked you already a couple weeks ago. So let me know if that's the case, because I want to try and see if other people can win as well. So anyways, so this is, this is basically my thinking right now is I would not recommend going after the Beast Breakers. Okay. And the event deck seems to be just okay for me. Whereas the Master Collection card might feel pretty useless, but if you can get a consistently good gen spawner, then you could actually keep the power gem train going every single turn. And so that is something that I think would be useful, although I'm not sure. Without a deck, I can never test it. So let's see. What I think on using the Headstrong Sirens deck. The Headstrong Sirens deck. Remind me again what the Headstrong Sirens deck is. I'm trying to remember what they are, because I haven't used. Yeah, so like I don't know why the colors are changing like this. Like last time it was okay. Last time it was like sort of turquoise. This time it's dark blue and it's really hard. So I might need to just change the the background there. Yeah, so I can't remember the Strong Sirens one. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pick another one because I really do believe I saw this name before, but I know that this one was not selected. And so me myself in the 1100, go ahead and message me on the network chat afterwards. I selected another one because I know that I selected Argent before. And so, but if I made a mistake, Argent, just reach out to me. I'm okay sending out two. Okay, so me and myself at 1100, go ahead and send me a message afterwards. Congratulations, you've won a merch. Okay, and so let me know which deck it is, guys, because I can't remember. I can't remember which one you're talking about. I can't remember what the Strong Sirens is. Most likely because I don't actually have the deck itself. But if you're talking about the Bioluminescence deck, I could do that. I could talk about that one. So between these two, if you have True Luminescence versus the Wave Mothers, I would go with I would go with the Wave Mother deck for sure. That is a lot stronger because if I had to pick between which ultimate form to use, this one's okay, but it has a 6-turn cooldown. Whereas at least with the Wave Warriors, you could have passive power gems every 3 turns, and you can get the you can double your power gems, and also you can have immunity. So that I think overall that's a better choice, but you do need to make sure that you are getting cards that have the right dispels. So let's take a quick look first and see, because we already saw one of them was Power Gem Silence. The other two that I kind of want to take a look at are what the Master Collection card and the Ultra Rare cards dispel. So the Master Collection card deals with Chaos. Chaos is okay, because I don't think this is sort of the deck that you would have to save power gems for. And Armor Automaton dispels Blind. So Blind can be a little bit annoying, but you can also use Keta. Keta also dispels Blind. So those are okay, whereas a Power Gem Silence will be a big problem, and you'll need to have a card. So you need to actually use the support card in a lot of situations, depending on the boss you go in. So I think I would say that would probably be a deck that I would go with as well. So the Wave Warriors deck would probably be the one that I would recommend. Just because it gives you immunity and you have more passive ability that you can go with. And so I will have to swap out this card for a support card if I need to deal with Power Gem Silence. So Barbarossa, the ultra rare card from that event, doesn't do anything. This card does nothing. So Cannon Blast Barbarossa, if you're talking about just the ultra rare card itself, this card is useless unless you have the ultimate form. If you have the ultimate form, then it works better, because then you can build up the number of gems that you create every single turn, and then you can reset as well. So then you can actually, oh no, I'm getting too mixed up. You can reset the deck so that you can actually activate it multiple times, and it has a 3-turn cooldown, so it's a lot quicker. And so if you have the ultimate form of this deck, I think that's usable as well. Just if you get this card from the collections, the ultra rare on its own is completely useless, which I think is unfortunate. So the last Chaotic Water Commander, I don't think I had that deck. Yeah, so I didn't get anything from the last Chaotic. I didn't get anything. The Water Chaotic Killer Commander deck, the last one I got was the Titanic Terrors. I guess they probably haven't come out with a new one then. So I'm not sure. I just saw the Reaper X. So the last Chaotic Water Commander is the Titanic Terrors. I think that's what's going to be available in the Drillfist Depot. Right. So let's see. Iton, or do you have to use up the season coins before the new one starts? Yeah, so I don't think you have an option to use it anymore. So your seasonal coins from the previous season should have already been automatically converted. And so let's see. Hey, we got the. Yeah, so I don't see it though. So they also resolved the issue now. So you should be getting yourself a relic, and I got myself a 3-star relic because I didn't really play very much. So like the season coins from last season is already gone. So now it's time to collect the new ones. So let's see. Robert Kellogg, 6-star Tin Man does give you 1 power gem plus 3 power gems. You go to 5-star earlier with. So, Robert Kellogg, I was saying that it's the same thing. What I was trying to say with the support card is I wish that it would give you 5 gems total at 2 power gems and 3 water gems, or 1 power gem 2 plus 1 power gem 2 plus 4 water gems. If I misspoke, then thanks for correcting me. But I know that all of the cards now, basically, it doesn't matter what star level you get, it gives you the same number of gems. Because the battle skill doesn't change anymore. It's just the stats change. I was commenting on the battle skill itself for the support card isn't really as good as what we would liked. So let's see. Colin William Deep, it does make 2 power gem 2s on every attack. I guess you're referring to Barbarossa, right? I suppose. I just dislike the card. Honestly, like, this was the one card I got from the event, and I just disliked using it personally. But I guess I shouldn't trash too much because there is that passive ability to create 2 water power gem 2s. So yes, so there is some use there, but I think there's probably more useful cards. The only other thing is it gives you a 13 times commander bonus. So I guess, use what you have, use what you can to give yourself a little bit of an advantage. Okay. So let's see. Illuminance misspelling. Yeah. Let's see. Nolia, the trend, the ugly sirens. You think I have right? Okay. Yeah. So I think. Okay. So I was missing the whole context there. So I think what you guys are referring to is the you guys were telling me that it was the 10 tears, and so we talked about that, and I think people in the chat got the answers. So I think we're good there. Anyways, so let's see. Villain Heart, you got 26 wasted seasonal coins. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that they wouldn't let you carry over the coins, because I think that's just such a waste. And the other thing I want to talk about again before I sign off here, I generally try to keep my perspective more on the positive side. I definitely had my fair share of annoyance, and I was really upset during the New Dawn season. But I think that now that we had that sort of two events where they dropped the price by 50%, and then they're now back to the 50%, and just my general lack of luck for the past 9-10 weeks or so, it really kind of just makes me wonder, like, couldn't they keep the vault price down a little bit on a weekly basis? Because here's another reason why I thought about this. I started this event with 3,300 gems, and that was enough for me to get another basically 3 tiers. To get to another 4th tier, I needed 2,500 gems total. And if I took a look at the gems that you can get, that requires me to actually get at least the $20 gems. And if I wanted to go 1 tier higher to tier 5, I can't even get the $40 worth of gems, because that isn't enough. I have to go with either 2 of those, or I have to make a combination, 2 purchases, or a single purchase, $99.99 for 1,200 500 gems. I just think that this is nothing new. All right, this is nothing new. It's just that per tier, the expectation level of like how much it actually costs per tier is just extraordinary high for per event. And so it's just my personal thinking that this is an area where, having gone through those 2 events where they did drop the price, going back to the full price just doesn't it. I mean, like, I'll roll with it, and that I basically roll with the punches, and I'll use what I can, but with the event being harder and harder, like, it just feels like it's getting harder and harder every event without the event deck, and the event deck getting harder and harder to obtain, and the expense hasn't gone down. It just isn't, it doesn't make for a great experience. And so I do apologize. I can't, help out a lot of weeks because I don't have the team. I don't have the team to actually help out there. So I do what I can, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to actually come up with a team that can be successful for Corellium or for diamond level bosses. So I will try and be successful in the platinum side, and we'll see what we can do there. I can't remember whether it's diamond first and platinum. Anyway, the one after gold. I think I might be able to get something going for the tier after gold. So I will see what I can come up with, and then I will provide some of my thoughts there as well. And yeah, so I think people probably will agree with me here. It's just that, you know, it's too expensive. It's way too expensive, and so for me, I continue to be VIP free, and just because like it doesn't really make a difference for me. Like if I get VIP, it's still impossible for me to get the deck anyway. And so, so anyways, I think that's probably gonna be it for me for today, and hopefully some of the cards that I provided as a suggestion works for you. I will play around with it and I'll see what I can do. It's too bad. I do actually really like the art for this deck, and it's just unfortunate I couldn't actually get anything. But it's gonna be here. It's gonna be it for me for today. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and you know I will probably talk to you guys next time. Oh, actually, before I forget. There's something I wanted to talk about. This had nothing to do with the game. I just wanted to say that you guys saw the new mic here. So this is, and there was somebody that actually reached out to me before. And if you have questions about how to get started, if you're like if you're interested in getting into like video streaming or like video recording and things like that, I kind of went through a lot of self-learning, and I just wanted to say, like, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. This was the one I started with, so I changed this. This is a Blue Yeti mic. I changed this just because it started getting staticky over like 2 years or so I replaced it. This is a HyperX Quadcast. I actually think that this is a pretty good mic. Let me know what the sound quality is like. But anyways, feel free to reach out to me for any other questions besides the game as well. I think that would be cool. If anybody who's interested in streaming or something like that, I can help you understand my setup. I'll probably talk about like my experience, my you know, sort of like how I got through this and what I've learned, all the things that I've done to get started. So I just thought that there might be some of you out there who are interested. So by all means, comment down below, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay, so anyways, that is going to be it for today. Thank you very much, guys. I am going to sign off for tonight, and I will see you in the next episode. All right, take care, everybody.